Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why can't I? Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why can't I? Welcome. Congratulations. You have chosen the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. I, unfortunately for me, am that guide. Your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you yet again. Regarding one Leon Scum, one must ask, or one must ponder or state. Maybe he was born with it. Or maybe it's ketamine. Let us begin. Yes, remember the Grimo Wormtongue handshake, cringe before the election, Leon with his customized black MAGA hat, trying to look like a Gestapo officer the best way he can without straight up dressing like a Gestapo officer. Another genius found on the internet. No, not Leon Scum, the mythical genius. A true genius who can make a meme that stabs the devil right in the heart. Like this one. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's ketamine. Brilliantly done. Brilliant wordplay as well. Unique and creative wordplay, son. Not the usual bullshit. But again, remember the handshake. Leon showing his fealty, his obedience. That cringe look on his face, all gack the fuck up on Special K and God knows what else. as he shook Donnie's hand in kind of a, I don't know what you would call that, a lesser dog in the pack, in a with a humility and with the face of Grima Wormtongue, a very famous character. Oh my God, what have you rubes done? What is this bullshit? Muskwatch rolls out the Doge tracker, showing that 96 billion of Doge's claimed savings are bullshit. Doge claims savings 105 billion from Doge government / savings. Doge itemized savings 29.9 billion, including 14.9 billion contracts, 14 billion unlabeled grants, and 468 million real estate. Verifiable canceled funding. Verifiable. In other words, what they ain't lying about. What they ain't pulling straight out their ass. Because this ain't about saving money, son. It's about looting your country and setting you up for a huge fall. You've already fallen. A lot of you. Don't worry, you'll all wake up to it eventually. Except for the real sociopaths that will take some real joy out of joining the Reich in what they're about to do and what they're doing. And I know you're all out there. I've seen you. I've worked with you. You've been my neighbors. You've been my friends. You've been my acquaintances. I see the sociopaths all day, every day. It's one of the reasons I despise humanity. And yet I care for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, this life has basically been one long string of sociopaths, with a few decent people peppered in there for good measure, to almost make it seem worth it. That's my experience on this planet. And it's yours too, whether you're willing to admit it or not. So yes, they've lied out their ass, and the only verified savings here is 8.6 billion. But you know what? 8.6 billion is literally what Doge costs per week. So you ain't saving jack shit, son. You being looted. That's what's happening to you. I'm here to tell you that. I'm here to guide you through the looting, the Armageddon, the apocalypse, all the horrid things that are about to play out. Some of them have already played out, and we'll mention some of the things that are in the story. I don't like spending all the time on the story because most people don't want to hear that shit. And I don't blame them. Just the reality of the world. Here's a great photo. And the orange lips, I used to make this joke online to so many people. And I would say, you know, you have an orange ring around your lips. Take it for what it is. I don't know if you can see that. Leon has an orange ring around his lips. When Donnie was doing the infomercial for Tesla, and you got a literal entire sales pitch that was just utterly insulting to the White House, what this country stands for. They turned the White House into a used car lot. And, you know, I know what people are going to do here, because the right in this country, they have no real arguments on any issue. So they got to reach for whatever bullshit they can find, throw it against the wall, hope it sticks. It's been that way since Nixon. So what they compare this to is Joe Biden having an electric Jeep on the White House grounds that he drove for a minute. That's kind of different. The Democrats have always had an agenda of promoting greener type cars. Now, when you really look at an electric car, what happens with the batteries and all that? They're heavier, they wear out parts faster. At least the Teslas do anyway. Are we really being any greener? Are we really doing any justice for the environment? I don't know when you're plugging into a coal plant or a nuke plant or whatever. And that's a whole nother art or subject. Nuclear power plants, this myth that they're clean energy. My God, could that not be more wrong? They want you to believe that, though, but don't let me go on a rant about nuclear power. Don't worry, we're all going to get to experience the deadliness of nuclear power once that wormwood thing happens. We got a little taste of it. Who knows, that may have been the event when Vlad hit Chernobyl, aka Wormwood, with a fucking drone or missile or something, and punctured a hole in the dome. You know, that melted down nuke plant that thousands of people died to fucking cap off so it didn't end humanity? Anyway, I digress. Let's take it one horrid apocalyptic moment at a time. Again, they're going to compare that to Joe Biden driving a Jeep or bringing an electric Jeep onto the White House lawn. It's not the same thing. First of all, this is a whole different scenario. Leon bought an office in the White House for $230 million. He bought America, essentially, for $230 million and future tribute, whatever that may be. Leon's about to throw another $100 million on it. Leon owns the company. The guy with the office in the White House. You got a literal sales pitch for a specific company with the owner standing right there, giving his half-ass special KS sales pitch for his own product that a lot of you people have invested in, unfortunately. It was a totally different situation. Donnie turned the White House into a straight-up used car lot and gave you a sales pitch for a specific guy's car. Oh my God, it was pathetic to watch, and my God, they must be desperate. When MAGA people are talking up Tesla electric cars, yeah, you people believe in nothing, because you've been fighting against electric cars since it happened. You don't know why. You're too stupid to know why. But you've been fighting against electric cars for decades. Tooth and nail, by the way. Because you were told to by the propagandist at the top. And you're not smart enough to see through it. Now you're out there with the shitty Cybertruck that can't do jack shit a real truck can do. Built cheap as hell, not even paint on the motherfucker, and you paying $170, $200 for it, driving it home, it's rusting in 3 seconds, then you gotta buy a wrap, a spare tire, this, that. Oh my God, you rubes are stupid. Again, you'll talk about in one breath, how great it all is, when the reality is it's a piece of junk toy of a car, and it's not worth nearly the money you're paying for it. If the thing costs $30,000 or $40,000, I'd be like, okay, cool, whatever. It's a cheap ass bargain basement car. No, it cost $140 to start. Then you add all the accoutrement, and it's up to $180, if not more. All for a truck that can't do anything a truck is supposed to do. And rubes are buying this thing to make a statement. So when it craps out on you, or you almost lose your life because you run your finger along the back of it and slice your fucking wrist open, it happened. I presented the story. Guy almost died to buy a Cybertruck. What a statement that is. It's like, I don't even know what analogy makes sense with that. I don't know. A guy boasting how great it is as he's jumping off a cliff? That's the only thing I can think of. Because, my God, some of you are going into hock for this thing just to make your statement. And the guy you're helping out is the richest man in the world, by the way. That's the cause you're involved in. Wow, so noble of you. what you're doing with your time, money, and energy, and what you're promoting. A guy who's firing everyone and looting your country and laughing at you to the point his little child is repeating him laughing at you because he heard something he shouldn't have heard. Or maybe daddy wanted him to hear it. I don't know. My point is, the little Joe Biden incident with the Jeep and this are two totally fucking different things, and don't even try and compare them. We know what this is. The richest man in the world has a boycott against his products because he's a fucking douchebag Nazi. And he was a douchebag before he revealed he was a Nazi. He was already a cringe asshole no one wanted around, including everyone that works for him. Got a literal commercial for his cars on the White House lawn, full with a complete scripted sales pitch, as if it were a used fucking car lot. Don't compare the Democrats promoting electric cars to this. Donnie wasn't promoting electric cars. Donnie can't even drive a fucking car. He's promoting Leon's scum and trying to save the richest man in the world as he fires thousands of people, and eventually it will be millions, and millions more will lose their job because of the hit to the economy because millions of government workers got fired. Do you understand how that works, Rubes? You will when you get the pink slip, son. Don't worry. And then you're in the job market against 3 million other people that weren't in the job market 2 months ago. Yes, so Leon had an orange ring around his lips. That's the point of this, or that's the moral of the incident. This is a statement about, okay, this is a comment that Elon co-signed by saying true, and the account is MAGA voice. That sounds legit, right? It's not an op at all, right? First of all, Elon is not finding wasteful spending. Yeah, we know. He's finding kickbacks, money laundering, and theft. No, we're finding that with Donnie and Leon, actually. No wonder they're screaming for him to stop. No, they're screaming for him to stop because he's the richest man in the world, pure scum, made it by pure welfare via the United States taxpayer. Utter welfare queen, utter leech on society, would have never made it on his own. Hell no. Much too soft, much too lazy, much too entitled. So Leon says that's true when the literal opposite is happening. Your country is being stolen. All the money it's produced for 200 fucking years. All the institutions, all the buildings, all the gold, everything. Your future, your children's future, that's reality being stolen by that man right there that just co-signed this fake-ass statement that he probably printed up himself. Calls you the parasite class if you ever need help from the government. Meanwhile, he leeching every 5 seconds, getting $40 billion contracts. Stealing contracts away from other companies that already had them for $2 billion. Almost got a $400 billion contract for shitty Cybertrucks for the government. At least they would have been easy to handle when they use them against us. They're so cheaply built. But Leon probably would have just pocketed 3/4 of that anyway, and Donnie probably would have pocketed some. That's really what the contract is for, let's be honest. It's not for trucks. So again, what we have with Donnie and Leon and the minions and MAGA, inversion of reality, what God hates. Every day, all day, I've been seeing it for 20 years, and I've been seeing these websites promote it for 20 years, and they're still promoting it, still taking the money from the groups behind it. Why would they stop? It's only America on the line, you know, the place that made all their scumbag asses rich. That country they betray, they've been betraying since the 60s by shipping all the manufacturing, bringing H-1B visa workers for the good technical jobs, bringing in migrant workers from other countries for the low-end jobs. Again, blame the employers. Don't blame anybody else. They set this system up for us. I didn't set it up. I'm fucking nobody. The employers tell all the foreign workers, come on in, we'll hire you. All the contractors, all the MAGA contractors, all the MAGA farmers, they'll take that fucking cheap ass labor because they're illegals. They invite it in. They literally tell the rest of us, we can't survive without these illegals picking our crops. Okay, whose fucking fault is that? When you're out there screaming and crying against socialism. When you're out there screaming about, we need to deport all these motherfuckers. Meanwhile, you got them picking your crops, and your farm wouldn't survive without them. What farm would survive without them, let's be honest, across the country? In other words, only blame the employers for this system you find yourself in. Whether you hate Latin people that come here illegally for work, or whether you love them or you're indifferent, whatever. Blame the employers for the situation. They created it. They love it. The last thing they want to do is hire an American and pay American wages, despite you making them rich by buying their shitty products or services. Americans, America, they betray you every day, corporate America. They've been doing it since, I don't know, the late 60s, 70s. Blame the employers for the manufacturing being overseas. Blame the employers for all the illegal workers coming here. Whether you like them, don't like them, whatever, that's not even important or relevant. Blame the employers for the H-1B visa workers taking the higher paying jobs that you went to college for like a dumbass. Anyway, I digress way too much. And this commenter says about Leon's little fake interaction here. He's not finding wasteful spending, fraud, abuse, corruption, excess, inefficiency, kickbacks, money laundering, or theft. He's killing investigations into his companies, awarding himself more government contracts, pilfering our data for his AI, and stealing our Social Security, Medicaid. Indeed, and stealing much more. And always remember, there's things I forget to mention often. Killing the investigations into his companies. Oh, he went after all those agencies first. Why do you think the fangs were out for the FAA? Because they had a lot of problems with SpaceX and some of the things it did, and they had an investigation and fines and all kind of things. Why do you think Leon said, if Kamala wins, I'm going to go to jail? He didn't mean because of political persecution. He meant because he's a fucking criminal. That's what he meant. He knew. This is, again, Donnie and Leon, they're the perfect couple. They both needed to stay out of prison. Because that's where this was going for both of them, possibly. With the crimes they've committed. And again, the Social Security, Medicaid, they're going to save that for last. They're going to hit that, and that's when it's really going to get ugly. And they're probably planning on that. They know people will come out on the streets for that. And that's when, the opportunity for martial law. I mean, hell, they said it was a national emergency when Canada put up some tariffs on electricity for the northern part of this country. Again, desensitizing, setting the stage for that when they really roll it out. And don't worry, they will. You know where this is going. Be ye rube or not, you know where it's going. All the signs are there. All the indicators, whether you want to see them or not. It's going to a horrible fucking place. An authoritarian place. And they're getting more and more frustrated, and they're running out of more and more time. So they're going to have to leap. The frog's going to have to leap and reveal itself. It's already revealed itself in many ways. The Sieg Heil wasn't for fucking nothing, son. in 2025 after all this time. They've been wanting to do it for a long time, since George Bush Sr., honestly. Before even. It took them all these decades to get to Leon, the idiot high on Special K and ecstasy, born filthy rich, abject waste of oxygen, throws up the sincere Sieg Heil and shows you all what the real movement is. So again, inversion of reality, he's doing the very things he's accusing you of, being a parasite. If you've ever enjoyed any of these programs, helped you out in some way, when he's the greatest leech and parasite on mankind I've ever seen, as far as money he's sucked out of economies and governments. My God, no one's a bigger welfare queen than Leon Scum. I'm sorry. It's just indisputable. He's an utter leech. Never seen nothing like it. Yet he's got his mouth open in interviews all over the place, talking shit on you people. Again, you people think I'm harsh? I ain't harsh enough on these cunts. And it's going to get harsher, don't worry. These people are abject fucking evil. Nazis, etc. Satan worshippers. And it's serious when Nikki says it. It's real. Again, I ain't selling you snake oil, son. My name ain't Alex. And I ain't a fat fuck. Here's Hannity hawking Teslas. I was like, damn, they got Hannity on it too. Again, these people are spending their time trying to save the richest man in the world as they fire you from your government job, or you lose your job because those millions of people lost their job and it hurt the economy. Donnie's tariffs every day, on, off, on, off, on, off. I'm sure that's going great for all the corporations. They're not getting nervous at all. They're not laying off anybody, right, guys? It's all going wonderful, right? With all this instability and chaos? Absolutely not. There will be layoffs aplenty, don't worry. Especially when Australia won't buy our products, Canada won't buy our products, Mexico won't buy our products. Who knows who's next who won't buy our products? That's going to have some of you losing your jobs too. For some dickhead in a troll farm in Russia or India telling you what to fucking say, as you co-sign it like a true fucking American rube. So again, yes, their noble mission in life, your noble mission in life, MAGA, is to save a fat South African oligarch who wants to rule the world, whose little child tells Donnie he ain't even president. Get me my juice, bitch, and go get your shine box. That's the cause. That's the endeavor you're involved in. That's what you put your name on. And you knew you were doing it. Don't lie to people and say you didn't. Saving him, saving his shitty company full of cars that spontaneously fucking combust, or combust when they get in an accident. And the fire department comes and they can't even put it the fuck out. It burns so hot. How many people have burned alive in these fucking things? How many FSD accidents have there been? Again, I remember one guy on 441 down here in Florida. Semi went right under the motherfucker. Dead. Computer guy. Trusted Leon Scum. Cost him his life. That's what happens when you trust a fat, worthless South African oligarch high on fucking Special K, who wants to rule the world, who wants to be the next Hitler. Literally. That's your noble endeavor, saving that fat, pasty, worthless cunt. Saving the Reich. That's your noble endeavor, son. That is not going to play well when the man comes around. Laugh at it. Brush it off. He coming around. Mark it. Coming for you. And you're going to have to justify this shit you've done. You've co-signed. You've ushered in. It will not go well for you lest you turn away, and you don't have much time. And I know you've heard that a million times throughout the years, throughout the centuries. This time it's fucking for real. And if you don't believe by what you're seeing, I don't know what it's going to take, but don't worry. The shit's going to get crazier and crazier and bigger and bigger and worse and worse. You're going to see shit you never dreamed of as you went through your task of life every day and never pondered the greater things. And again, that's not your fault. That's what we're taught to do. And they make it so, you know, you got to work 3 jobs. You got to spend all your time. They don't want you stopping and thinking for a second. And the maximum expression of that is Leon and Donnie and this whole movement and MAGA. People at the top of it. There's no deep state. They are the fucking deep state. They are the top. This movement has seized control. Again, Sean Hannity and Donnie it looks like Donnie reposted this. Tesla's the most American-made car in the country. Sure it is. As promised yesterday, I just ordered my new self-driving Tesla, over 1,000 horsepower, blah, blah, blah. Details on how to win the Tesla of your choice soon on Hannity. Boy, they're just going all out. Again, this is your noble endeavor, joining Donnie Shitbags and fake-ass Sean Hannity in saving the richest man in the world. Could that not be any more opposite of Christ if you tried? Which, again, is what I've been trying to point out to all you patriot Christians out there for fucking 10 years. You are walking the opposite path, despite your efforts to make it to church on Sunday. And when you put your money in the collection plate, it's helping that GOP right-wing grift/terror machine. That's who the church is aligned with for the most part. I know here and there are some of you good churches that are really about Christ and know Donnie Shitbags for what he is, the bloody Antichrist, and you've never taken part. I see you out there, as few of you as there are. But let's be honest, most of the church is aligned with the right-wing grift/terror machine. That's where they get their power from. That's how they exert their dominance. If they walk away from that, they lose all that. So they stay part of the machine, even though they know, their leaders know. They looking at the Antichrist. They fucking know it. But they're going to go along because, it's on my team. And you're going to go along because it's on your team and you've been brainwashed. Your team must win no matter what. Dangerous for you specifically. So Sean Hannity and Donnie hawking cars. And again, your noble quest in life right now, all you MAGA people, Donnie, Leon, Hannity, the high-level MAGA people out there, the elites, your quest that you're spending your time on, trying to save the richest man in the world because he's a Satan worshiper and the false prophet. And you feel you must. Boy, if all of you put that effort into helping the poor instead of cutting food programs for schools, that's going to go real well for you too when a man comes around. Why did you cut food for the little children and smile about it on Fox News? Why did you do that? The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, or Trumpocalypse. And I find it interesting that they use this imagery, and I don't know them to be religious. I don't even know them at all. We've got Donnie Rubio, RFK Jr. My God, what a freak he is. And then Leon. I don't know if any of these people are cool enough to be one of the four horsemen. They do represent certain things, though. Donnie is the literal Antichrist. I'm saying that outright, literally, to you. One of the few people willing to stake their rep on that. And God, I hope I'm wrong, because I don't give a fuck about my rep. I'd rather be wrong about this and laugh the fuck out of wherever at the end of this. But I know I won't. Why? Because that'd be good. And when the fuck does any good ever happen, honestly? Marco Rubio. Yeah, he's just, I don't even know what to call him. He's a low-level nothing, in my opinion. RFK Jr. Yeah, he's going to cause some plague, boy. And he's on a mission to cull the population, it seems, with the kind of information he's giving out to you rubes. I mean, hell, they had you guys taking horse dewormer for fuck's sake. Yeah, they want you to die. And it's obvious. This group specifically, all that culling talk by Alex Jones and the Hagmans and all those people for fucking decades, that's these people. The Hagmans are part of it, whether they realize it or not, and Alex is part of it, and he does realize it. He just wants to be rich. And Alex is a white nationalist, Nazi just as much as Leon is. And Alex has proven all he wants to do is sell snake oil and bullshit you, as long as he stays rich. And Alex is desperate now, so he'll join these people whether he was part of it or not. But he was part of it. Cernovich, Alex Jones, the whole white nationalist thing, Pepe, the frog, you know. Funny, in the story there, again, these three entities, the dragon, the beast, Donnie shitbags, Leon, the false prophet, literally, I'm saying that. There's a passage about them speaking a spirit of frogs out there. And it gathers all these rube idiots to a battlefield eventually. I didn't remember that passage when your little white nationalist movement started back in 2015, when it really came to the forefront. As I watched Pepe the Frog be promoted all over the fucking place. A frog beast. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? A frog beast that would flash the 666 hand sign, or the white power hand sign, if you want to call it that. I don't. Because I know what it is. It's 666. It's not white power, son. It's funny how both those are the same, isn't it? I told you, Satan has attached himself to this movement for decades and decades. Utterly, totally, and completely. So back then when you guys were putting Pepe the Frog Beast all over the place with the 666 hand sign, I had forgotten that passage about the spirit of frogs that the three animals speak, that eventually gets a bunch of idiots to a battlefield. And that doesn't have to go chronologically. So I really wonder if that's the spirit, the frog spirit, or whatever that passage talks about. I'm getting the wording off a little bit, but you get the idea. Funny how this movement started with that. The symbol for the movement was a frog beast, 666 hand sign. And I know this doesn't fit into your normal life. Going to work, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your thoughts on your future. None of this fits in. I know, it sounds crazy, right? You're watching it play out before your fucking eyes. I'm stating reality for you, son. That's all I'm doing here. That's the fucking scary part, isn't it? So again, the story speaks of a spirit of frogs that these three things speak. And this whole white supremacist movement started with a frog beast. All I knew then is this feels wrong. What is this frog beast with the 666 and this white supremacist movement all of a sudden? What the fuck is this surrounding Donnie Shitbags, elevating him to a higher status? Of course, at the time, I didn't know Russian trolling was just replete on the internet. I didn't know it had all that support and fake commenting till we watched it play out a little bit. And then Mueller discovered it outright, that they were trolling the living shit out of you rubes and had you doing backflips and cartwheels and all kind of stuff. And my God, the traffic on the internet right now, I don't know if I'm ever speaking to a human or a troll or what. You're lucky if you get a real interaction between you and another human being in a comment section these days. It's so replete with fucking trolls and bots and public relations firms and AI. Anyway, I don't know if any of them are the four horsemen, but I do know Donnie's the Antichrist. I do know Leon is the false prophet. As far as plague and famine, I don't know. I do know it appears RFK Jr. is into re-education camps. I explained that to you. People on drugs would be put in camps where they would grow food or do whatever. Probably be gassed, really, let's be honest. That's probably where it would go. This is a Nazi movement. Don't get it fucked up. The Sikh Heil wasn't for nothing, son, again. So he seems like a culling type person, that he's into that idea. Eugenicist, if you will. Again, these are all words you Rube should understand. You've heard them for decades as they pointed the finger at liberals. Meanwhile, it was you and your people. Literally. Again, I saw about 3-4 pastors today. One of them, sex with a 12-year-old. Again, I don't present this stuff to you, even though I mention it once in a while. I see 7, 8 a day, new faces, new names, cops, firemen, pastors, clergy. Not transgender people. That's a problem for the narrative, isn't it? Shows you what the movement's about. This was really messed up. A bunch of 9/11 responders, and we've watched the 9/11 responders and Jon Stewart and people fight for this issue over the years. The illnesses, the deaths that resulted in brave men and women putting their own lives aside, risking their lives literally in many ways that day while they're, sifting through rubble, trying to pull anyone out possibly, clearing the site, all these medical problems. As far as I'm concerned, every single person that responded to that and got injured is as good as the military, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is they should be considered veterans of a war, and they should never have to pay another medical bill again in their fucking life. And they should be compensated well by the U.S. government for their injuries. If we can give $400 billion dollar contracts to scumbag oligarchs left and fucking right, we can pay for these people. But we don't. They have to fight through their medical bills, dealing with this horrid medical system. Meanwhile, they sacrifice their lives and their futures for this country, literally. And this is how they get repaid. Anyway, the little bit they fought for now has been taken away by Donnie Shitbags and Leon Scum so they can pocket the fucking money. Just same reason they fired all the, thousands of people from all these other agencies. Anyway, this was a video. It was about 1.5 minutes long. I posted it in the post section. Musk cuts healthcare to 9/11 first responders. Here's what they have to say. Well, one of the things the gentleman that spoke said, Doge is not real. Fuck Elon Musk. I believe that's how he like started it, the speech off. That's how pissed these people are. They're saying that in a public press conference. So obviously some serious things must have been taken away from these people. They ain't saying it for no reason. After they had to fight for decades for it. Here they are, the few of them that are left that haven't died. They got to fight again. Again, you MAGA people, you people part of this movement, and Donnie and Leon, none of you give a fuck about anybody. Let's be honest here. Not cops, not firemen, not Capitol Police, nothing. As long as your cult wins, your cult's going to end up worse than the Jim Jones cult. Do you hear me? Worse. That's where it's going. That's how sycophantic and crazy you sociopaths are. You need to turn away. For your own good, not for mine. I was never part of it, son. I knew better. So this gentleman gave about a 1.5-minute speech, and he is fucking disgusted. And once again, they're just letting everybody know, you're showing us you don't give a fuck. All day, every day, MAGA shows us this. Donnie and Leon show us this, and everyone surrounding them. They don't care about anything but the fucking grift. Whatever power and money they can get for themselves. They put the old politicians and politics to fucking shame. You are being abject, looted right in front of your face. None of this is remotely normal, and you know it. And these guys deserve way fucking better. These guys, these women that suffer, that died, to clean up that clusterfuck called 9/11. And I don't even want to go into what I think about that. Let's just not even. What's the point? It's the fucking apocalypse that you fools have ushered in. What's the point of debating what happened at 9/11 anymore? Just a catalyst for more lies and war and bullshit. No matter how it happened. This is a brilliant statement, and it's something I've been saying every day because we got to be honest here. I have zero patience for Americans whining, I didn't vote for this. Every sentient being on the planet knew what you were voting for, tried to warn you, and you voted for it anyway. And let me add, because you knew better. When you're crying, when you realize your family's future and your country is gone, and you've done something you can't go back from, and it's all over, maybe then you'll realize that you didn't know better. But by then it'll be too late, unfortunately. And it's too late for all of us, honestly. Thanks to you. This is someone asked Grok if Leon Scum was a trustworthy or moral person. Grok came up with this long-ass thesis-length thing regarding Leon's statements and activity in life. None of it was good. And then it came to a conclusion. And here's the conclusion. It's just a few paragraphs quickly. If you want to read the whole thing again, I put it in the post section. And I put a link so you could read the whole thing if you'd like. Conclusion based solely on Musk's own public comments, posts, and actions at Doge. He doesn't consistently exhibit the hallmarks of a trustworthy or conventionally moral figure. His penchant for exaggeration, selective omission, and refusal to correct missteps undermine his credibility, especially on issues like Social Security, immigration, where he's been demonstrably inaccurate. While he may operate from a personal code aimed at efficiency or disruption, his approach often sacrifices truth and accountability, key pillars of trust and morality, for narrative control or influence. You'd be hard-pressed to call him reliably moral or trustworthy without overlooking these patterns. Fucking computers, man. That's a lot of words to say, yeah, Leon's an abject liar and don't believe anything he says. But again, Leon's own AI is giving you the whole skilo every fucking day. No one talks more shit on Leon than his own AI. And you see this day after day, and you still shill for it. What does that say about you? I guess you must be just like Leon. You must be just like Donnie. You must see something you like. It's that simple. Wow, Grok just astounds me over and over with, it just keeps stating the truth about Leon, and none of it's good, ever. When's Leon going to tweak this thing to start lying for him? They did try it once, remember? Someone programmed Grok to leave Leon and Donnie's name out of certain searches that people had just done like the day before. So it was kind of obvious when they did them the next day, they would get completely different results and Leon and Donnie's name wouldn't come up. Then they discovered the commands given to Grok, Leon's AI, to leave out Donnie and Leon's name. But they're going to do that. Leon cannot have this AI talking shit on him every day like this. He's got to alter it. He already tried. I just gave you the example. It's going to happen more. Donnie with another abomination, blasphemy. There's this figure in the story that's supposed to speak blasphemies or abominations. I forget how it's worded, for 1,200 some days. Donnie's every day getting them out there. I'm keeping track. Here's one. Schumer is a Palestinian as far as I'm concerned. He's become a Palestinian. He used to be Jewish. He's not Jewish anymore. He's a Palestinian. Yeah, that's the Antichrist. Okay? The guy who wants gold statues on the Holy Land of himself that they made the commercial about, remember? Only that thing would say that. That's all I need to say about that. Nick Fuentes. Again, he's speaking the truth. And it only took Nick 10 years and being thrown under the bus by Leon and his income being taken away on X for Nick to start popping some truth. And this shit's dangerous. The things he's saying lately for the past, I don't know, month and a half. He's throwing grenades on these motherfuckers. I guess Leon shouldn't have taken his money away, huh? Here we go. White nationalist Nick Fuentes says that Trump is a populist demagogue who is just stirring up the rubes to empower himself. And here's the best part. You're going to love it. As much as I hate to admit it, liberals were right fundamentally about Trump. Not just liberals, everybody that's been warning you for 10 years. This guy is horrible. He's a mobster. He's a criminal. He's a rapist. He's this. You hear him, grab him by the you-know-what. You saw it all. You heard it all. And that was intentional. So none of you could say, I didn't know what I was co-signing. You knew. Don't pretend you didn't anymore. It ain't going to work with me anyway. And Nick's just putting it out there. Nick's one of you people. He's MAGA. He's part of the white, nationalist thing. Even though his last name is Fuentes, but whatever. He flat out said it. People were right about Donnie fundamentally. He had to throw the fundamentally in there. Not necessary. Everybody that talks shit on this thing, on that orange thing, they were right and you were wrong. And even your own people are saying it now. Come on, this is hardcore MAGA here, Nick. This ain't, you know, some middle of the road political person here. He's made some very crazy statements. And he's been, you know, quite honest about what he is, what he stands for. He doesn't really hide it. And Nick's gotten to the point where he's so freaked out. And I don't know if the taking away of his money has anything to do with these recent comments. I have a feeling it does. That Nick's a little pissed off. So he figured, I'm going to stop shilling here and there and throw out some real truth just to let them know I might use my influence against them. He's testing the waters with his audience, I can tell. That's why he uses words like fundamentally in the statement. He's like slow, he's like treading carefully with how he says it to see if you people turn on him and want to crucify him or not. But one more time, I got to read this. Again, this is one of your people, your hardcore people. As much as I hate to admit it, liberals were right fundamentally about Trump. I listened to the video to make sure he said these things. And he said even more than the commenter here puts in their comment. You should watch it. I put it in the post section with the link to Nick's little video clip so you could see it. But Nick throwing grenades on MAGA right now. I guess, again, Leon shouldn't have taken his money. And this is about Hannity's comment on the Teslas, basically shilling, hawking Teslas for Leon. Watching Republicans rally to save the wealth of the richest man in the world while leaving working families struggling to afford groceries, housing, and health care is the clearest indicator of who they believe they answer to. Oligarchs will never care about you. Indeed, they wouldn't be oligarchs if they cared about you. Yeah, again, I said that a minute ago. That's why I pulled this person's comment, because I thought it was excellent. You know, it shows what the priorities are. Saving the richest man in the world. That's what the cult's priorities are. Not helping the poor, not helping the homeless, not helping the infirm, not doing God's work. Helping the fucking rich guy, the richest man on the planet, actually, allegedly. That's your noble mission now, MAGA. Are you proud of yourself? As millions get fired from the government, as millions have to worry, millions more on top of those millions, because that's going to have a hit on the economy. Have to go to bed every night wondering, oh, am I going to have to feed how am I going to feed my children? This guy's firing everyone. The economy's tanking. Everything's looking bleak. Meanwhile, Leon and Donnie are having a party over here and defending it all and hawking his cars on the White House lawn. And mission number one, priority number one, once again for the GOP was first priority, tax cuts for the rich. That happens in every GOP administration. Once again, Donnie pulled it off. War, which eventually will happen. And, you know, billion-dollar contracts for Leon and Altman and others. That was priority number one, MAGA. Did you get anything out of that, idiots? Absolutely nothing. And you will get nothing. You'll get placated till the rug is completely pulled out from under you, and it almost is. They are this close. They got a few steps to finish before they really get comfortable. So again, priority number one was none of you rubes In fact, a lot of you lost your jobs as they gave tax cuts to the rich again. And priority one became contracts to Leon and hawking his cars on the White House lawn. Call it the Gulf of America, it's still the Gulf of Mexico. Call him the president, he's still a rapist and a felon. Yes, you can't erase history, the true history. And again, the man keeping his own records. You can't erase or alter those. I don't care if you're gypsy mobsters. I don't care if you're in government. I don't care if you're the leader of a Nazi authoritarian movement who will attempt to erase all kinds of history and disappear people and blah, blah, fucking blah. It all ends up one place in the lake. You win it. Oh, this is an idea by Doge to get rid of all phone lines for Social Security for filing claims. And that you would either have to go in person, grandma would have to go in person, or go online and do it through the computer. We all know how easy it is to fill out things online. It always works perfectly, right? Just like that, right? No, it never works. There's always some stupid fucking glitch, depending on what phone you have, provider you have, blah, blah, fucking blah. Whatever code they used, always some bullshit. So now when you go to collect your Social Security, you can't talk to anybody on the phone. You'll have to either show up in person, and God knows what that'll be like after they fired everyone, which they pretty much have. Or go online and try and figure it out at 75 years old. Good luck with that. That's the big idea with Doge, so they can pocket more of your money. And this is a good point about this plan. I'm not going to read you the details. You don't need it. You're being dismantled and looted. You don't need the details. The Doge team realized that there weren't billions of Social Security benefits going to dead people, and so instead are planning to get rid of phone service. Indeed, we got to save money somehow, right? Since we lied about that dead people thing. Because we're idiots and we didn't know what the code meant. Because again, we're just, Nazi Satanists here to dismantle and loot the greatest empire that ever was. We're not actually, good at what we do. We're just evil and sycophantic and willing to betray every single person in this country. All of you that are American, you're betraying your entire family as you take that Doge paycheck. Fucking cunt scumbag. And your place is utterly secure in the lake. I promise you. And I'm a lot smarter than you are. People will see a divine miracle play out on live TV and lose faith as soon as things get mildly uncomfortable. So this is a utter sycophant, troll, bot, something, trying to equate the dismantling and looting of your country by a Satanist Nazi fucking regime to things getting mildly uncomfortable. And this is the miracle they're talking about. It was written over 1,000 years ago that they would call it a miracle, by the way, and that this miracle would happen. That word miracle should have been in quotes, though. This miracle, remember that? That's quite a great coating of blood, isn't it? On the back of the ear. I don't know if you know, just as a side note, they sell this Halloween blood capsule for behind the ear. It has a little hook on it. You can hook it right over your ear and have it behind your ear. Just as a side note, for no reason. I literally saw that product today. Again, false prophet, dragon, and beast, the miracles will all be false. but people will call them miracles. So they're saying you saw this miracle. You saw Donnie survive the bullet. And you saw it heal magically. Yet you're beginning to lose faith in Donnie shitbags, in the cult, in the movement, in Satan. It's just getting mildly uncomfortable as millions get fired. And guys like 19-year-olds that just get out of high school called big balls, who definitely don't have big balls, are stealing your information and installing backdoors and AI and all kinds of things to just spider its way through everything that matters to you. So that's the mildly uncomfortable they're talking about, the looting and dismantling of your nation to eventually end up in a technocratic fucking oligarchy, fascist state that goes from Greenland to Canada all the way down to South America. I'm not joking. That's what they want to do. So you saw the miracle and yet you don't believe that Donnie's going to usher in the golden era or golden age? No, I don't believe. I believe in something much greater. And that greater thing told me about this guy over 1,000 years ago. And he's playing the part perfectly. What does that tell me? That tells me what I believe is greater than what you believe. If you believe in this. Because what I believe, wrote this down over 1,000 years ago. And here's a person literally saying, you saw the miracle and, you know, you only lost your income. You only lost your career. I mean, come on. You're only going to lose your country. What's the problem? You saw the miracle. Just so we're all following, Leon spends $300 million to elect Trump. Trump gives him the federal government. Elon guts the agencies that regulate his companies. Trump holds an infomercial for Elon's cars on the White House lawn. Leon gives Trump another $100 million. Yes, there's whispers and rumors of another $100 million about to be paid to Donnie by Leon. I guess that was the price for the Tesla commercial on the White House lawn. Donnie's like, yeah, give me $100 million, Leon. Maybe I'll do it. I guess Leon's going to give the money, or already has. Because Donnie would have never done that for free. Fuck no. And yeah, that's an excellent breakdown. That's literally what you're seeing before your eyes as you debate people, as you shout in favor for it, as you help them steal your future, your children's future, and your country, and the world. Because it's going global, baby. It's going to hit everyone's doorstep. Don't worry. Upon Musk's request, Young procured a massive TV for Musk's office in the Eisenhower Executive Office Building so he could play video games, according to a person familiar with the situation, granted anonymity to speak freely. Of course he did. I totally believe this. Again, as he's firing all of you people, as he's cutting Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, every program you can think of, food for schools, food for other countries, farmers' contracts, etc., as he's ruining people's lives and laughing about it. He's ordering you on your dime. I'm sure the taxpayer paid for that huge TV brought to his office so that fat cunt could play video games like a fucking 12-year-old as he loots and dismantles the country for fucking Satan. Do you hear me? This fat, pasty waste of oxygen cunt named Leon Scum is ordering people to bring him a massive television for his shitty office that he paid $230 million for. As he's firing you, as you have to go to bed tonight worrying, how am I going to feed my kids? Because some fat fucking worthless Nazi oligarch bought our government. And because I was dumb enough, or some people were dumb enough to vote for an orange con man who's never been honest a day in his fucking life. I don't know. Maybe this is some consolation for you that Leon gets to play video games in the White House as your country gets dismantled and looted. Trump on tariffs. There will be very little flexibility once we start. April 2nd is going to be a very big day for the United States of America. The United States of America is going to take back a lot of what was stolen from it by other countries. I wonder what he means by April 2nd is going to be a big day. Because it sounds like there might be more than tariffs going on. I don't know. He sounds real excited here. I watched the video on this too. So remember that April 2nd, I wonder what they're going to unveil on us. The day after April Fools, huh? Interesting. A reporter asked Donnie about the plan to expel Palestinians out of Gaza, and boy, Donnie did not want to hear that question. He got real pissed about that one. And I believe this is the Prime Minister of Ireland, okay, is sitting there when this question comes. Donnie got real pissed. So the reporter, what about the president's plan to expel Palestinians out of Gaza? Trump, nobody is expelling any Palestinians. Who are you with? Reporter, I'm with Voice of America, sir. Trump, oh, no wonder. Trump moved right on to another subject. He did not like that question. In other words, the Antichrist, in other words, you let the cat out of the bag on what the Antichrist is about to do to Gaza. You saw the commercial, people. This is a guy, again, that he co-signed a commercial where he and Bibi are sitting on a pool deck in a new resort at Gaza. And 40-foot gold Donnie statues, and gold Donnie statues being sold by the street vendors, and gold Donnie head balloons being carried by children, money raining from the sky, transgender belly dancers. You saw all this, and then he gets a legit question. Looks like you want to build a resort there, Donnie. What about the president's plan to expel Palestinians out of Gaza? Trump, nobody is expelling any Palestinians. Who are you with? Like a true elitist cunt. Who are you with? I'm going to tell the manager. I'm going to ban you from the White House. Because you dared ask me about the literal plan I've been talking about with Bibi Netanyahu in front of your face. You've been talking about the literal commercial we put out where we own Gaza and we build our resort. Antichrist didn't feel like dealing with that question right then. He was real proud, though, when the commercial came out with the 40-foot gold Donnie statue in the Holy Land. Totally normal, right, people? I know, again, this doesn't fit into your normal life. I know. It's very strange, right? Doesn't make any sense. I must be crazy. None of this is happening or will happen, right? No, it's happening before your eyes. I can't believe I'm saying the words. I've been wondering if it was ever going to happen in my lifetime or at all. Boy, did I get my fucking answer. And it's not a good answer. So whatever, go about your normal life, blah, 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 whatever, and just ignore all this. There's going to come a line and a time where you can't anymore. And that's intentional. Not this time. I'm sorry. This isn't the normal thing you're used to, where you just vote evil and walk away and it has no consequences for you. No, it's going to have consequences for everyone this time, especially you. Again, these are not religious people. This is an account called Right Wing Cope where they make fun of MAGA, basically, doing stupid shit. I don't think they're religious at all. I don't remember them putting any scripture up or anything. Revelation 13:3, and I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world marveled and followed the beast. And they put the two pictures of the bloody ear and the not bloody ear. And again, the reason I'm reading this to you is because what I find fascinating is non-religious people. That's what you people say. Anyone that believes in God and Christ, you say they're religious. I've heard this over and over. No, they're not, but that's beside the point. Non-religious people, because you'll understand that phrase. That's what you use. Putting shit up like this over this past 10 years, left and right, like all the time, throwing the phrase Antichrist around all the time in reference to Donnie. I find that strange that so many non-religious people are doing that. It's almost like they know something deep within themselves. And they say it kind of jokingly to make fun of the rubes, like to point at the rubes and say, look, your own scripture says this and look what you're doing, jerk off. And I'm not even a Christian. I'm talking from their perspective. Look what your own book says, son, and look what you following. Look what you co-signing. Your own book predicted it, look. And you're doing it. You're not fighting against it. You're ushering it in. You're helping it. I find it fascinating. So many non-religious people are saying that to you people out there, you rubes, you MAGA folk. It's fascinating to watch. More blasphemy, abomination from Donnie Shitbags. A reporter asks, what responsibility do you feel to civil servants who have now lost their jobs? Many of them worked at the Department of Education during your first term. Trump. Many of them don't work at all. Many of them never showed up to work. Says the guy who never worked a hard day in his life. Born filthy, fucking rich, and had his hand out since he left his daddy's house at 20 years old or however old he was. Got a small loan of $1 million from his daddy. This is the person saying they didn't work at all and many of them didn't show up. Again, this is the person looting and dismantling your country. This is the person that will demand your worship. He'll demand everything. This is what he thinks of you, government people. Many of them don't work at all. Many of them never showed up to work. And he elaborates on that, but who gives a fuck? Again, another blasphemy, another abomination. And I could do this all day with things he says. He's supposed to. It was written, don't worry. Blasphemies and abominations. I've never seen an animal like this. Have you? Every day for the past 10 years, we've seen this cunt put out some blasphemy or abomination via a statement, scheme, etc. How many people has he gotten killed with his little holds on Ukraine aid and shit when he wasn't even president? This fat orange fuck, I promise you, no matter what he does to any of you or me or whatever, is in the motherfucking lake. I promise you. Don't follow them there. Do yourself a fucking favor, man. Oh, Trump's agriculture secretary. Ooh, she's a piece of real work, and she going right into. And again, when I speak of the lake, people, that's the lake of fire in the story. It's a real place, though. These people know about it. They went to church, right? They know they go in there, too. They hope and they won't, but they know deep inside where they're going. I can see it all over every one of them. This agriculture secretary cunt, oh my God, is she evil. She looks evil, she sounds evil, and she does evil. So yes, the question is, USDA cancels $1 billion in local food purchasing for schools and food banks. How do you justify that? Trump's agriculture secretary, that program was not essential. She didn't say that at the beginning of her statement. She said that at the end of her statement. And yes, I watched that piece of footage too, because I want to make sure that statement is in there. That program was not essential. I want to make sure she said that out her fucking mouth. And she did at the end of her statement. I watched the clip, and I can't remember if I posted about it. This woman is abject evil. She looks disgusting. And she just thinks she's the greatest thing. Here's what she looks like. Brooke Rollins. Oh my God. And that's a better picture of Miss Rollins. You need to see her live with her receding ass hairline. Oh God, she's hideous. She just screams evil. The just nonchalant way she speaks about this as she cuts programs and justifies cutting programs that feed children. Again, this is the noble endeavor you've been on in right-wing politics your entire life. Taking food out of kids' mouths. That's what you helped make happen every time you voted R. And we're just seeing the maximum expression of it. Here's an example of ICE fucking with people beyond the scope of Latin illegal immigrant. I know that's what they told you. That would be the only people they would fuck with, and you were cool with that. You shouldn't have been cool with that, because roundups and targeting like that always expand outward in an authoritarian regime, unfortunately. You should know this if you took even the most basic of history courses. So here's a female Canadian who got fucked with by ICE. There's also a woman from Germany who got messed with by ICE, got treated really badly, probably because she had an LGBTQ look to her. This is also what they're using this bullshit with ICE and rounding people up and immigration shit to fuck with Canadians, to fuck with LGBTQ looking people. In other words, it's just to get the foot in the door. The camps aren't even full. Gitmo, I'm hearing. And I know why they're not. Because they weren't just for Latin immigrants. They're for everybody. Whoever they want to target, they're proving it with that German woman they fucked with. And now this Canadian woman, I'm going to read it quickly. To give you an example, you know what's going on between us and Canada right now. That's why this happened. I guarantee it. Again, they can use this immigration ICE, brown shirt, Gestapo, whatever you want to fucking call them. Hand for the Reich. these immigration police. Now they're using them to fuck with other kinds of people that they want to target, not for immigration reasons, because of what they represent. And again, if you're Canadian, do not come here. Are you insane? Stay in fucking Canada. Do yourself a favor, man, or you might end up like this woman. Don't give them the opportunity to fuck with you because you're Canadian, because that's where this is going when you try and cross the border. They're going to take opportunities like this to fuck with you because you're a target now because you didn't just give your country to Donnie and fucking Leon for their Nazi technocracy. So please, Canadians, I'm begging you, don't come here right now. You don't want to be in the midst of this when it jumps off either, and it's gonna jump off. You don't want to be caught in America. Stay in Canada. Now, eventually, our military is probably gonna go into Canada because Donnie's a warmongering antichrist, unfortunately. But right now, stay in Canada. Don't fucking come here. Are you insane? For any reason. Do yourself a favor, man. Bring Jasmine home. My daughter Jasmine, 35-year-old Canadian, attempted to enter the U.S. March 3rd, 2025, with a consulting visa for a company in the States. Unfortunately, her visa was denied and she was detained by Immigration and Customs at the San Isidro border crossing, where she was held for 3 nights. From there, she was transferred to Otay Mesa Detention Center in San Diego and held for another 3 nights. On Sunday, March 9, the online tracking system indicated that she had been released. We assumed this meant she was being deported and escorted to an airport. However, 24 hours later, there was no sign of her, no communication, and we were extremely worried. We eventually learned that about 30 people, including Jasmine, were forcibly removed from their cells at 3 a.m. and transferred to the San Luis Detention Center in Arizona. Now, when I hear things like this, I know what's going on. They fucking with people intentionally. They being cruel on purpose, and it gets worse. Again, this is not just targeted at illegal Latin immigrants. And I told you the list would expand outward. Now it's anybody they want to fuck with. Look what they did to the Muslim protester for Palestine in Colombia, the university. Again, using the immigration thing to go after other kinds of people that they find undesirable. Right now, they find Canadians undesirable. So if they have a chance to fuck with you, I'm sure the orders have been given to fuck with you. They sure got the order here to fuck with this woman. So they were forcibly removed at 3 a.m. and transferred to San Luis Detention Center in Arizona. They are housed together in a single concrete cell with no natural light, fluorescent lights that are never turned off, no mats, no blankets, limited bathroom facilities. So again, these are hardened criminals, right? These are rapists like the guy in the White House, convicted felons like the guy in the White House, adjudicated frauds like the guy in the White House. No, they're not. They're just people that crossed a line and unfortunately came across the brown shirts or the Gestapo. So that doesn't sound fun. They're transferred twice to 2 different fucking states and blah. Like, this is obviously intentional. They're trying to fuck with people. Communication with her has been extremely sporadic, and it is only thanks to one of her close friends and contacts in the U.S. that we have been able to receive updates. Yesterday, Austin Grabish, a reporter for ABC 10 News, was able to interview Jasmine. He also interviewed her friend, who has been working tirelessly from Vancouver to bring Jasmine home. The story will air tomorrow, and from there we hope other broadcasters will pick it up. What we have learned of the ICE system and its treatment of detainees is inhumane and deeply concerning, Being detained is one thing, but there's no excuse for the way people are treated while in custody or for the delays in deportation. They are not criminals. They just want to go home. We are doing everything we can to bring Jasmine home. We are in touch with the Canadian consulate in San Diego. There's little they can do. A lawyer is also working on her release, but progress is slow. I'm asking for your support. Share the story through networks. Jasmine is an adventurous, hardworking young woman, and we desperately want her home. This sounds like a fucking nightmare. And again, they're being intentionally cruel to these people, moving them at 3 in the fucking morning, putting them in all in one room together. I can see where this is going, and it's exactly where I fucking thought. They use these ICE cunts to fuck with whoever is undesirable at the moment. Eventually, that's going to be you and me, son. That's where all this is going. This is the perfect evidence of it. Transferred 2, 3 fucking times, 3 o'clock in the morning. Give me a fucking break. Like we haven't seen this movie before. And again, what's wrong with you ICE people, man? I am so sick of you goddamn sociopaths in this world. What the fuck is wrong with you people? My God, I would not want to be making my paycheck doing this, going home, having to look at myself in the mirror. So many of you humans do such horrible things for a living just because you get a goddamn paycheck, just so you can feed your fat fucking mouth and live another day. Just doing abject fucking evil like these ICE motherfuckers. Wastes of goddamn oxygen. That's all you is. And I hate the fact I even have to share the planet with you, that I got to breathe the same air. What a pity that is. If you had any morals or decency, you'd quit. Get out the Gestapo now. Because if you haven't committed atrocities already, if you haven't committed abject intentional cruelty already, I'm sure you will in the near future. And no, God's not going to accept I was just following orders. Good luck with that excuse, though. I'm sure it'll save you from the lake. Don't worry. 35-year-old Canadian woman Jasmine Mooney from Whitehorse, Yukon, has been detained by ICE at the U.S.-Mexico border since March 3rd. March 9th, she was listed as released, but was actually disappeared along with 30 other prisoners into a new detention center. Yeah, that's really nice to get moved like 2, 3 times by the time your mommy's calling to check where you are. You think that's intentional? You think that's to scare people? You think that's to be cruel on purpose? Of course it fucking is. They can't do the take children away from parents anymore. They already played that game and got, caught with their hand in the fucking cookie jar. Again, I don't, so many of you humans out there, I remember the blonde-haired woman who was in charge of the department at the time when they were intentionally separating children from their parents and shipping them off to God knows where so they never see each other again, on purpose. Again, you people saw that and you're still voting for it. You're still debating on behalf of it. I would not want to be the person that was responsible for implementing that intentionally cruel policy. It will not go well for you. And I don't care if you agree, want to debate that or not, it's still not going to go. It doesn't change the record, son. Your lies don't change the record, unfortunately. And this is the end. I think it's worth saying this again. If you're an American general today and you're being asked to work on invasion plans for any other country, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Greenland, you need to walk to your nearest microphone and start talking right now. Oh no, that's not going to happen. We know how this goes. We've seen the song and dance. Everybody goes along till they get fired. No one goes to the mic when it matters, when their job's on the line, when their freedom's on the line, when their country's on the line. They wait till it's over. They put it in a book. They wait till they're safe and they're not running anymore or whatever. That's when all of a sudden we'll get the information that could have changed the entire scenario. The truth. That's when we get the truth. When it's too late. When you got nothing to lose. And I see that time after time with so many people that ever worked for Donnie Shitbags. A lot of them I like. Olivia Troy, I think, is a nice woman. There was another guy who I can't remember his name right now. They worked for Donnie Shitbags at first, so I can only have so much respect for them. Wasn't until they got fired or fucked with or harassed, all of a sudden they want to turn on the movement that they knew was wrong at the beginning. You ICE people I just mentioned, you know what you're doing's wrong, yet you're doing it. The generals, you know the plans you're drawing up right now to invade fucking Canada is wrong, yet you're doing it. Again, it won't go well for you. People think you're going to come out on top with all this. Leon, Donnie, the minions, the cult. No, you come out utterly on the bottom and in the lake. You don't understand the tortures that are coming your way, and they ain't going to come your way by man. They're going to come your way by that thing you claim to believe in called God. That's where the tortures are going to come from, and my God, are they horrific. Your destination is the abyss. If you continue following Donnie there, and Leon there, they serve something you can't even understand. And you're serving it too, whether you know it or not. Therefore, for your own sake, you need to turn the fuck away. You generals that are drawing this shit up right now. You cabinet members that smile as you do Satan's work, as you take food out of children's mouths and you say, oh, that program wasn't necessary. Guess what, Miss Agriculture Secretary? Brooke Rollins, is it? You need to turn away right now. It's your last warning. If you don't, you're going to end up in the lake. I don't care how smug and fake polite and happy you are on Fox News as you laugh and giggle about taking food out of children's mouth and you say those programs are unnecessary. Literally, when the Fox News reporter or anchor says, how do you justify that? Even he's appalled by you. You, lady, are going right in the lake if you don't turn and repent right fucking now. I couldn't believe what I saw with this creature. And what's interesting, someone that knows you told me about you before you came on the scene. Once your name was out there in the running, they told me how horrible you were before I ever saw your disgusting face on Fox News, being all pleasant and businesslike about taking food out of kids' fucking mouths. You fucking demon. It's going to be real ugly for you. It already is. You are pretty fucking ugly, actually. But my God. Your place is so secure. You especially would have some real work to do to reverse that. I don't see you doing it. You're that cliche elitist cunt with the hideous, fake fucking pearl necklaces, the hideous attire that struggles to make yourself look almost, remotely presentable. As the evil just eats away at your facade and reveals what you really are, just a haggard waste of fucking oxygen, destined for the fucking lake. But keep trying to get that receding hair looking good, honey. Keep trying to keep that facade up as the evil chips it the fuck away. Good luck with that. I don't see you changing course, so I expect, you're going right in the lake. And people will applaud when it happens. Again, despite the smug facade, despite the fake pleasantry, despite the fake smiles and laughs, as you are, in your glory on Fox News, as if you matter, as if you're not, again, just a worthless piece of shit waste of fucking oxygen that does nothing but evil on this fucking planet. I would not want to be you, son. Oof. Oof. This ain't snubbing a homeless man on the street that asks you for $1. This is actively, enthusiastically taking food out of kids' mouths. Oh, oh, oh. I would not want to be you, honey. Good luck in all your future endeavors, though. Anyway, until the next episode, fuck off.